across the U.S. That's coming up in Force of Nature.
To upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Supreme Basics Office Supplies and Furniture. Fast delivery, thousands of products online. Supreme Basics, the office expert.
It's never been easier to share your videos and photos. Get connected, get creative, and get sharing. Visit theweathernetwork.com today. Join now and share your weather.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Wednesday. It is April the 5th, and I am driving in downtown Toronto. I am currently on Dufferin Street right now. I'm being joined by Raymond from the CAA. It is all about the CAA Worst Roads campaign, and I want to make a note that it's not only for Ontario. This is a national-wide campaign, so Ontario isn't the only province that participates in this. So Raymond, tell me the other provinces, and tell me about some of the worst roads that people have voted for there.
Absolutely. So our CAA Worst Roads campaign actually operates in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and also in Atlantic Canada as well. So some of the other notable roads that appeared on the worst roads list last year were in Atlantic Canada, we had Mountain Road in Christmas Island in Nova Scotia.
What a great little place.
Yeah, and in Saskatchewan we had Provincial Road 155. Manitoba was Provincial Road 239. And in Quebec, we had Chemin, Kilmar, Grenville, which is in, it's in Grenville-sur-la-Rouge in Quebec, was our #1 worst road.
All right, so like we said, it's not just Ontario. On Dufferin Street right now, quite bumpy, going through a bad area, lots of construction, lots of potholes. Sorry, Nate. The poor camera guy. But right now, I'm going to send things back inside the studio because I know driving conditions are not the best today.
No, they certainly are not. We've been dealing with snow and blowing snow across northeastern Ontario. We've had freezing rain as well. That's now moved into Quebec as well, especially north of the St. Lawrence. Some heavy snow, freezing rain, rainfall. There's everything.
Okay, wind, that's enough.
And
that's
there's
enough.
wind. I know. Welcome to spring, right?
We've got all different types of precipitation with this one. And our third headline, too, is, Chris, that winter weather is going to be hanging around even behind this system.
Yeah, there's another one that follows this one.
There's another one. Take a look at how massive this Colorado low is, though. Cold front stretches all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. A closer look at home, and Chris and I were just noticing London just starting to get into the snow.
Yeah, we've been seeing, you got a bit of a dry slot there between where the main thrust of the rain is and then where the backside of the low, the colder air is coming in over Lake Huron, and that's been sprinkling some snow. And with the winds, I mean, it's going to be some blowing snow through there. Wind warnings include Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, up to 90-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts. Quebec City under winter storm warnings. You are certainly feeling that right now. Fredericton, it's snowing, but you're under a rainfall warning because a warm front's going to warm you up. And tonight, freezing rain in Newfoundland, including St. John's.
Dealing with strong winds across southern Ontario today. Those will pick up. They're already quite gusty this morning, but through the afternoon, evening, 80 to 90 kilometers an hour. The snow's coming in as well. So if you live in areas, especially along the Huron shores, probably not great driving conditions. Blowing snow will be a concern.
Absolutely. So as the storm departs, things wind down. So by this evening, the worst of the snow's over in northern Ontario. The worst of the wind is over in southern Ontario. Quebec gradually improving overnight. Maritimes, you dry out tomorrow. And Newfoundland, yeah, you'll be warm tomorrow, but there'll be that transition from that snow and freezing rain to rain. And Labrador getting into some snow and blowing snow. But not much accumulating snow in southern Ontario. But note what's east of Lake Huron. That's representing the snow that's coming in today.
That's moving through this morning into the afternoon. Southern Quebec, we're still going to continue to see that snowfall through the day. We are warming up a little bit down towards Montreal. And then again, keep in mind, still snowfall this morning across northern New Brunswick.
All right, and all that's changing to rain in southern New Brunswick. And coming up, your local forecast, and share your weather with more videos.
upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast is brought to you by Sustain Ultra Hydration for advanced hydration of dry eye relief. Feel the difference the #1 doctor and pharmacist recommended brand eye drop can make.
It's a spring storm that has a winter written all over it. Parts of northern Ontario could see between 15 and 25 centimeters of snow by tonight. Plenty of rain fell in the south of the province Tuesday night. Expect damaging wind gusts between 80 and 100 kilometers per hour today. The same storm brought thunderstorms to the U.S. Midwest Tuesday. There was no shortage of lightning in Indianapolis. Severe weather season is poking its nose into parts of the U.S. Intense thunderstorms dropped record-breaking rain on the city of Indianapolis Tuesday. The U.S. National Weather Service issued tornado watches for parts of the upper Midwest and Appalachians. Tornado warnings were in effect for Arkansas. To El Paso County, Colorado, where nearly 300 evacuees have been allowed to return home. Residents were forced to leave their neighborhoods Monday when firefighters struggled to put out a brush fire.
Ready to Respond is brought to you by ServiceMaster Restore. When you don't know what to do, we do.
Depending on the time of year, many Canadians can face problems with flooding. There are many ways you can prepare your home for a possible flood besides just checking the forecast. Ensuring your home is protected from water damage during a flood can be easy. Roofs and windows need to be maintained. Eaves, troughs, and downspouts should be cleared of debris. Grading should slope away from the house, and outdoor taps need to be turned off before the winter months to avoid freezing. Remember, maintenance is always less costly than repair or replacement. For our blind and low vision viewers, the Weather Network offers regional audio description weather reports during our local forecasts on the 10s.
Hey, good morning from the shores of Lake Erie. Our storm watch coverage continues on the Weather Network. Winds are steady at 50, gusting to 70 on the shores of Lake Erie. Now we're approaching peak wind over the next 4 hours here. Something really interesting is happening. Seiche is occurring out on Lake Erie. So that's the steady, persistent, constant wind, and wave action is drawing all of the ice that had been up on top of the lake to its very eastern end. That's down by the Niagara River by Buffalo. They actually have ice booms across the Niagara River to keep the ice from flowing down the river and towards the power stations and all of that, to keep it out over the lake. So there's concern on the Niagara River that a lot of this ice is going to overrun and then flow down the Niagara River. There's an awful lot of ice at the east end of the lake now. You can actually, we've moved down shore just a little bit from where we were last hour, and you actually see some more ice that's being pushed up here, but there's a great deal of it, and with these very strong, consistent winds over the course of the day today, there are some concerns down near the Niagara River, and we'll tell you more about that as our storm watch coverage continues today.
All right, excellent coverage, Chris. And some of these wind gusts actually go to 85 kilometers per hour around the Niagara region, Port Colborne. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So those winds are going to continue to pick up this afternoon for the north shore of Lake Ontario, not really diminishing until tonight. So there's going to be likely some power outages with this.
And you know, these winds are going to be a concern into southern portions of Quebec as well. This is all associated with a massive area of low pressure. Yes. Colorado low, snowfall, freezing rain. We saw thunderstorms in southwestern Ontario, tornado watches and warnings stateside yesterday evening in the U.S.
One storm, multiple threats, and a myriad of warnings from Environment Canada. So the snow continues across northeastern Ontario, conditions improving by tonight, but snow and blowing snow, travel likely not recommended. And that continues right across the Laurentians, north of the St. Lawrence, Quebec City, Charlevoix, Saguenay, big snow. Ottawa, Montreal, we've had the snow, we've had freezing rain, that's changing to rain, and it'll likely end as snow as the colder winds blow in by tonight, and then tomorrow's a calmer day across Quebec.
A calmer day today, but then that's really just a break before your next system comes in for Friday. Even more snow. Not as much, though, associated with the second one as this one's bringing for us today.
All right, we also have multiple precipitation types across the Maritimes, with primarily rain for the southern areas, snow changing to freezing rain in central regions, and heavy snow in northern areas. And Newfoundland, you're getting snow about 5 to 15 centimeters this evening. Overnight, that changes to freezing rain and then ultimately rain.
And we'll take you on over to the west coast, where conditions still remain unsettled. Next system moving in Wednesday night into Thursday. So tonight and tomorrow morning, heavy amounts of rain, high elevation snowfall. This is our pattern throughout the week.
Do we have any good news? Yes, in the prairies, temperatures will finally return to more civilized values come next week.
To upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Trauma Care by Homeocan. When it hurts, think Trauma Care. Safety tips are brought to you by Insurance Bureau of Canada, representing Canada's private home, auto, and business insurers.
We know that at some point over the winter, our walkways are probably going to freeze over and the snow will start piling. Celeste, how can I reduce my chances of a slip or fall?
Absolutely, Ross. Well, the best and most obvious answer is to shovel your driveway and your steps and to put down salt or sand to prevent ice buildup. If you hadn't had a chance yet to shovel that pathway, then just take short, careful steps, keep your hands out of your pockets, and use a handrail just in case you do slip. Of course, when the weather's getting messy, take extra caution while exiting your vehicle.
Counts.
We'll start off with a bit of a scary scene. Too much snow in April. We take you to Iowa for this one, and I'm sure people in cottage country, you can relate to this as the system has come in and turned your backyards white. We're in storm watch as this one tracks to Atlanta, Canada.
I think this Colorado low is really hogging the show today in the weather world. As you can see, eastern North America, not only Canada, is being impacted by this all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. Thunderstorms down towards the south. We actually saw thunderstorms in extreme southwestern Ontario yesterday evening. I know you woke up from the rumbling of the thunder.
Oh, yeah.
But that's starting to come to an end. And now it's snow.
Now wind as well.
Yes.
We are looking at a lot of different elements with this system. You can see the wind coming back in, the wraparound snow, and also a good sign, Kelly, that our temperatures will be falling throughout the day today.
Yeah, you can already see snow being reported in areas like London up towards Wyerton. Windsor seeing the snow, and the snow stretches all the way over towards the Maritimes. Central and northern portions of the region are going to start to see a transition over to freezing rain, straight rain across Nova Scotia. Hey, Halifax, you've got 10 degrees today.
That's a pretty good forecast in Halifax. I feel like that's probably one of our warmest forecasts today in Canada.
Yeah,
considering the prairies are just so cold. As we look at this, the messaging from Environment Canada, wind warnings in place, freezing rain warnings. There is a lot to go around when we talk about the snow throughout Quebec. But Kelly, let's focus in on the wind right now because the ground is just so saturated. We've seen so much rainfall. These powerful winds come in 100 kilometers an hour. We could be talking down power lines today.
For sure, especially like you said with the saturated grounds with all of the rain up towards the north. We've got a little bit of freezing rain and snow. That could be a concern for some isolated power outages. We're actually already seeing it being reported in Hamilton. Amanda Weldon was coming in this morning. She's saying she didn't have power this morning. So we're dealing with that. We're also dealing with the snow further north.
And here's a look at the snow across cottage country. This will make the roads pretty bad. But Emily, we're not just talking weather making the roads bad. We're talking street signs and potholes and construction and traffic. The worst roads across Ontario. How are you faring them this morning?
It's bumpy. It's very bumpy. I'm on Dufferin right now in downtown Toronto. Not only Ontario that the CAA has their Worst Roads campaign, this is a national campaign, so you can vote for it in other provinces as well. Raymond's joining me, backseat driving. He's doing an excellent job navigating me to where the worst sections are in the city. Now, Raymond, it's not just potholes. There are a whole bunch of other factors that people take into consideration when they're voting for these roads, correct?
Absolutely. So potholes, it could be congestion, it could be missing or confusing road signs, it could be inadequate cycling infrastructure. These are all things that make up bad roads.
What about bad drivers? Is that something that you can vote for?
Well, that's not something on the campaign, but maybe for the future.
All right, good to know. We'll have more on your Storm Watch coverage coming up after your local.
To upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Supreme Basics Office Supplies and Furniture. Fast delivery, thousands of products online. Supreme Basics, the office expert.
It's a spring storm that has a winter written all over it. Parts of northern Ontario could see between 15 and 25 centimeters of snow by tonight. Plenty of rain fell in the south of the province Tuesday night. Expect damaging wind gusts between 80 and 100 kilometers per hour today. The same storm brought thunderstorms to the U.S. Midwest Tuesday. There was no shortage of lightning in Indianapolis. Severe weather season is poking its nose into parts of the U.S. Intense thunderstorms dropped record-breaking rain on the city of Indianapolis Tuesday. The U.S. National Weather Service issued tornado watches for parts of the upper Midwest and Appalachians. Tornado warnings were in effect for Arkansas. To El Paso County, Colorado, where nearly 300 evacuees have been allowed to return home. Residents were forced to leave their neighborhoods Monday when firefighters struggled to put out a brush fire.
The 1974 super outbreak was the second largest 24-hour tornado outbreak in U.S. history. Between April 3rd and April 4th, there were 148 confirmed tornadoes in 13 states. Hundreds of communities were hit. Among the very worst was Xena, Ohio, where more than 30 people were killed and over 1,000 were injured. In Canada, an F3 tornado struck Windsor, killing 9 people. In total, there were more than 330 deaths and more than 5,000 injuries.
For our blind and low vision viewers, the Weather Network offers regional audio description weather reports during our local forecasts on the 10s.
Fix Auto, Canada's collision solution for over 20 years. For more information, visit a dealer near you.
I think we're okay. Glad that you're here this morning, and what a windy morning it is on the shores of Lake Erie. Just listen to this wind. Wow, that's something, huh? So these winds are steady, 50, 60. Chris Murphy reports some of the weather stations are reporting gusts in excess of 80. They could get as high as 100. We're approaching peak winds here on the shores of Lake Erie. Look, the skies are clearing there. And the air that is settling in is much colder. The lake is, whoa, step back here. Really stirred up. The last of the ice is washing on the shore. So the ice is actually a problem down on the Niagara River. The Shire is where the winds consistently blow for an extended period of time. What they're actually doing is raising the water level at the east end of Lake Erie. It can cause onshore flooding, but with ice, it's also running that ice down the Niagara River. So there's a lot of grave concerns in Buffalo, New York, which is only about 20 kilometers from where we're standing. Whoa, windy and cold, and snow to the north. And our storm watch coverage continues today.
Wow, that was in my ear, Chris, and I feel for you. Those sound like some pretty intense winds. I'm right now traveling slowly on the Gardiner, downtown Toronto. We've been talking to CA about Toronto's Worst Roads campaign, Ontario's Worst Roads campaign, the national campaign for the worst roads in your province. Raymond's joining me. Raymond, how much does it cost to fill a pothole?
Well, to fill a pothole, it could be anywhere between, $30 to $50, and it could take about 20 minutes of time up to in order for city crews to patch up those holes.
So it's not only potholes that we're looking at, it's other means of road construction, and we're looking at, missing stop signs or confusing signs. So there's lots of things to vote for. You can head to the CAA's website if you want to vote for the worst road in your area. Back inside.
All right, thanks for that, Emily. I've certainly driven on some of those roads, and they're not pleasant, and especially when we've got snow, rain, freezing rain. That makes it even worse for a lot of us.
Yeah, that wind is pretty insane, isn't it? You heard Chris St. Clair there by the shores of Lake Erie, and that's what you have to look forward to on the shores of Lake Ontario, up to St. Lawrence, and parts of the Gulf of St. Lawrence too as well. All right, so we are in storm watch for that reason. Let's take a look at this one storm, but a multiple amount of threats and really a plethora of warnings from Environment Canada.
As we take a closer look, and I do want to point out that that was gusts of 87 kilometers an hour that we were listening to. Take a look at the snow that's just starting to wrap in. Chris St. Clair was talking about that new air mass coming in. You can see the snow is associated with it as well, especially along the Huron shores. London already reporting some of it.
Continuing snow still from Sault Ste. Marie right over to Quebec City through northern areas of New Brunswick. Southern areas of New Brunswick changing over to rain, and freezing rain comes tonight into Newfoundland after snow first. So a little bit of everything. The strongest winds, though, this afternoon, say around Toronto, and into the evening for Montreal.
We'll have more Stormwatch coverage coming up, but right now, wherever you live across the country, your local forecast.
To upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Lennox, your heating and cooling experts. Find a Lennox dealer at lennox.com. storm hunters are back for more severe weather, action, and adventure. Series returns Sunday, April 22nd, only on the Weather Network. Brought to you by Nikon, at the heart of the image.
Good morning. You're watching the Weather Network. I'm meteorologist Kelly Sonnenberg. It is Wednesday, April 4th, and we're in storm watch for a Colorado low that is bringing in significant snow, freezing rain. We saw thunderstorms overnight last night in southern Ontario. It continues to track further east stateside. Brought in tornado watches, warnings, at least 8 tornado reports from yesterday evening through portions of the Ohio Valley and Appalachians. You can see this cold front draped all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. So this is a very potent storm. It's going to be bringing in strong winds today across southern Ontario, gusts anywhere from 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. Isolated power outages is going to be possible with this one. Snow is going to continue today across central and northern portions of Quebec, the eastern townships. Over towards Quebec City, we're looking at about 20 to 25 centimeters of snow, and with that as well, we're going to be looking at the risk for freezing rain. This system will continue to track into Atlantic Canada, bringing in a transition over to rain, some mild temperatures for portions of the southern Maritimes, and then Newfoundland will see snow transitioning over to rain as we head through likely today into tomorrow. And St. John's, Newfoundland, you'll get into more of a milder day as we head into tomorrow. Unfortunately, no mild temperatures across the prairies, at least right now. We've been well below the freezing mark, well below normal for this time of year. Arctic air continues to blast us with wind chills in the -20s, and waking up this morning, that is really the same story. And you can see through the afternoon, temperatures do rebound a little bit, but still this is well below seasonal. But I do want to show you there is a little bit of hope in our long range. For the start of next week, milder Pacific air will start to make its way in across Alberta, finally getting above that freezing mark and closer to seasonal for early next week. Stormy active pattern for the BC coast. I know we'd go through our fair amount of umbrellas on the west coast, but so do people in the UK. Let's show you some umbrellas that are fit for a queen.
When you live in arguably the world's wettest country, you need to be prepared with a good umbrella. And Queen Elizabeth not only has one, but one to match every outfit. Fulton is the umbrella company with the royal warrant that dates back to the 60s, when the Queen Mum decided that the birdcage umbrella was a must to maintain good style.
The relationship to the Queen is that the Queen Mother, in the 60s, Arnold Fulton invented and designed the birdcage umbrella.
England has a very wet climate, so Her Majesty spends a lot of time attending official events in the pouring rain, but she always maintains her style.
That umbrella was invented in the 1960s, and it was sort of the Twiggy area, so it was very cool, and it was chic, and it was plastic, and it was short skirts, and it just worked. And the Queen Mother saw it, and she says, hey, wait, I can actually see the people that I'm looking at, and they can see me, and I can wave to them. So she adopted that umbrella and basically gave you a royal warrant.
A royal warrant is like a company's version of being knighted. It means the royals like the product and start exclusively using it.
We do supply it to her, and then you have a dresser, and you have all her colors that she wears during the year. She's in all red or all yellow, so we will match a little band on the handle to the color of the dress that she's wearing, and that's basically what we're doing.
Considering the Queen loves to wear a rainbow of colors, I can only imagine what her umbrella stand looks like. For theweathernetwork.com, I'm Emily Vukovic.
To upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Insurance Bureau of Canada, representing Canada's private home, auto, and business insurers.
It's a spring storm that has a winter written all over it. Parts of northern Ontario could see between 15 and 25 centimeters of snow by tonight. Plenty of rain fell in the south of the province Tuesday night. Expect damaging wind gusts between 80 and 100 kilometers per hour today. The same storm brought thunderstorms to the U.S. Midwest Tuesday. There was no shortage of lightning in Indianapolis. Severe weather season is poking its nose into parts of the U.S. Intense thunderstorms dropped record-breaking rain on the city of Indianapolis Tuesday. The U.S. National Weather Service issued tornado watches for parts of the upper Midwest and Appalachians. Tornado warnings were in effect for Arkansas. To El Paso County, Colorado, where nearly 300 evacuees have been allowed to return home. Residents were forced to leave their neighborhoods Monday when firefighters struggled to put out a brush fire.
In April 2003, 24 millimeters of rain on the 25th gave way to almost 40 centimeters of snow in Calgary over the next 3 days.
It's brutal, it's heavy, it's wet.
The weight of the wet snow was too much for the roof of the North Hill Center Co-op store as it partially caved in. Calgary is no stranger to late winter and spring snow. After all, the city's all-time record fell on May 6th, 1981, 48.4 centimeters.
For our blind and low vision viewers, the Weather Network offers regional audio description weather reports during our local forecasts on the 10s.
Fix Auto, Canada's collision solution for over 20 years. For more information, visit a dealer near you.
It's close.
Welcome to summer in southern Alberta. The snow is wreaking havoc in this city.
For our blind and low vision viewers, the Weather Network offers regional audio description weather reports during our local forecasts on the 10s.
Good morning. You're watching the Weather Network. Rachel Schutz and Kelly Sonnenberg here with you. Rachel, we've dealt with thunderstorms yesterday evening in southern Ontario, significant snow. We've got freezing rain, and stateside yesterday evening, tornado warnings.
This storm has been impacting millions of people. And as we take a closer look here at home, snow has been a big story across cottage country. I think many people wanted to take the winter tires off this week. It's the first week of April. They don't want to be shoveling the driveway. And then look at this, more snow moving in across southern Quebec and into the Maritimes right now.
And you can actually see that snow moving back into southern Ontario, like you were pointing out, just on the edge of the Huron shores. Widespread weather alerts still in place with this one. Wind warnings in southern Ontario, winter storm warnings, snowfall warnings, and then freezing rain warnings all the way over towards Newfoundland.
There is a lot going on with this system, isn't there? Now, when we talk about the winds, Kelly, the most damaging today across southern Ontario, especially the Niagara region. We've been checking in with Chris St. Clair this morning along the shores of Erie. The winds are just howling. We can barely even hear him out there, and the waves crashing on shore. And you know, Kelly, that's another thing I want to mention about the water levels. They are considered hazardous. After all of this rainfall plus the snowmelt, rivers, creeks, streams, shorelines, stay away.
Yeah, no, it's a great suggestion because really we're dealing with the rain that we saw, so higher water levels, stronger winds, and then really you may want to be thinking about staying off the roads if you live in central Ontario.
For sure.
Because with the snow coming in and the strong winds, we're dealing with blowing snow, drifting snow. This is a story for southern Quebec as well. People in Ottawa and Montreal waking up this morning to a little bit of freezing rain as well.
And freezing rain is likely to be a story within Atlantic Canada. We are seeing the system coming in as temperatures are right around that freezing mark. Roads could be very icy.
Yeah, especially across areas like Miramichi up towards Bathurst through the afternoon and evening. Rachel, models are suggesting those areas most likely would be the hardest hit with this freezing rain. Now, of course, we're dealing with snowfall on top of that, northern New Brunswick, and then into Newfoundland as well.
We just keep going, don't we? We want to take a look at your long-range forecast right now.
All right, right, so we've been talking about snow, freezing rain, cold temperatures. We've got more of that coming our way by the end of the week. So, Rachel, tomorrow we're dealing with the lake effect, still gusty northwesterly flow, but then take a look at this, another system coming in.
Looks like this system should impact southern Ontario late Thursday and into Friday. As it starts off, many people will be seeing some snow with this. We're not talking big shovel-worthy snow, but enough to make you complain in April, that's for sure.
And it does look like our overall temperature trend across the country does look to remain probably cooler or below seasonal for a lot of eastern Canada, but the good news, Rachel, milder Pacific air finally moving in for the western prairies.
Oh, that is some good news. Now, when we come back, this storm that's impacting millions of people, we have images of it across the U.S. That's coming up in Force of Me.
To upload your photos and videos, visit upload.theweathernetwork.com.
This local forecast has been brought to you by Lennox, your heating and cooling experts. Find a Lennox dealer at lennox.com. Force of Nature is brought to you by Insurance Bureau of Canada, representing Canada's private home, auto, and business insurers.